This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. This video is brought to you by Apex News. Here at the Dollemore Daily, I am constantly on the hunt for the latest and biggest stories. And in the interest of providing the broadest, most objective coverage, I'm always looking for new and different sources. One of my latest and most exciting finds is Apex News. Used by over 350 million people globally, Apex brings you breaking news from thousands of trusted sources across the globe, as well as local news from your own town. Click on the link in the description below to head to Apex News now and check it out. Apex is a news aggregator personalized to serve up topics and articles you care most about. Whether international or national or right in your own backyard, Apex has the latest stories via their vast directory of continually verified sources, and their breaking news notifications will ensure you are the first to know about developing stories, whether they are taking place right next door or on the other side of the globe. Apex News covers wide world as well as the world right around you. Access it all by clicking on the link in the description below and get the most out of your news. Let's talk about the developments with Matt Gaetz. Largely, he was going on this weird tour, Save America or America First or some nonsense with Marjorie Taylor Greene, crisscrossing the country, being kicked out of venue after venue after venue, trying to find a place to spew their propaganda and their anti-democratic notions. But he's largely fallen off the map. He's kind of not public lately. And that is because things are heating up relative to his case. There's going to be a lot of bleeps. Anytime that I use any reference to violence against women or children and use words that communicate those ideas, I'm going to bleep them because otherwise YouTube will demonetize this. They might anyway. And that defeats the purpose of keeping this channel alive in order that I can continue to do what I do, commenting and analyzing the news. But this is an important story. We are in a position in America where monsters are among us. Monsters who claim to be saints. And that is Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz rails against crimes against people. He champions himself as some kind of a man of the people fighting for the little guy. And he is a victimizer. Allegedly. Cover myself. These people are quite litigious. He is accused of horrific crimes. And the fact that he still has the temerity, the lack of shame to appear in public and to give speeches to women's groups is abhorrent, to say the least. I'm going to read from this New York Times article. Justice Department adds 2 top prosecutors to Matt Gaetz case. The move by the department is a sign of the complex and high-stakes nature of the trafficking investigation into Representative Gaetz, a close ally of Donald Trump, who he himself is a of women. He himself is a credibly accused. The Justice Department has added 2 top prosecutors from Washington to this trafficking investigation of Representative Matt Gaetz, according to 2 people briefed on the matter. A sign of the complex and high-stakes nature of the inquiry into Mr. Gaetz, a Florida Republican who was one of the former presidents, who was one of the ex-presidents' closest congressional allies. The prosecutors, one, a public corruption investigator with an expertise in child exploitative crimes, and the other, a top leader of the public corruption unit, has been working on the Florida-based investigation for at least 3 months, the people said. It is not unusual for prosecutors from the Justice Department in Washington to be added to local teams of federal investigators in high-profile cases that require a deep and specific expertise like crimes. The Washington prosecutors have joined a group of federal authorities in Florida who have been investigating accusations of fraud and corruption by several people connected to Republican politics in Florida, including Mr. Gaetz. The authorities have been examining whether Mr. Gaetz violated a federal law by providing goods or payments to a 17-year-old girl in exchange for. Despite the wide-ranging nature of the case, only one person has been publicly charged, and this is very important. Joel Greenberg has been charged alongside, or presumably, preemptively, what will be alongside Matt Gaetz for a minor. All right? He has pleaded guilty, and he is cooperating. And the last sentence of this, or in this, tells a lot about what is happening. It doesn't, you got to read between the lines to know about it, but this is it. In a sign of the ongoing nature of the investigation, the judge overseeing the case granted a motion on Monday, filed by Mr. Greenberg's lawyer, Fritz Scheller, to have his client's sentencing delayed until March. That's a big deal. Delaying it till March means he's an actively cooperating witness who is still giving valuable information to authorities. And if he's sentenced and he goes away to prison, he's not as easily accessible to prosecutors. This doesn't bode well for Matt Gaetz because a minor comes with it a mandatory minimum sentence of 10 years in prison. I've talked for years about Donald Trump and Republicans being projection artists. They are guilty of a crime. They are guilty of an offense. And they point the finger at others, blaming them or accusing them of that same thing. Matt Gaetz needs to go. Matt Gaetz, who pals around with Marjorie Taylor Greene, the racist nutbag, who tried to glom on to Donald Trump, tried to seek a pardon from Donald Trump preemptively. People who have done nothing wrong don't seek pardons. What do you think, though? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. Big stuff, important stuff. We need to continue to keep our eye on the ball about. Follow me on social media. I would absolutely love to connect with you there. And if I bring you value, but only if I do, look, I know I'm not for everybody. That has been the case my entire life. I'm not for everybody. Anyway. But if I am your flavor, please consider supporting my work. You can click the join button below this video, become a channel member, or go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. We need to get rid of this guy. Anyway, I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Until then, be genuine. Take care of one another.